Hey guys, if you're looking for help with your Amazon business in terms of troubleshooting or strategy, visit sellersessions.com/consultancy or drop me a message to danny@sellersessions.com. Hey guys, welcome back to Seller Sessions again. I bring back Michelle Barnum-Smith. How are you?
Hey, great. Glad to be here again. Thanks for having me.
No worries. Okay, so let's do a quick refresher. Just give everyone a little bit of background on yourself.
Yeah, so I've been running messenger marketing campaigns for the last year and a half, pretty much, which sounds crazy because in any other kind of industry, to be the expert in the space, it's like, 10 years of experience and all that sort of thing. And I'm like, I've got a year and a half experience. And yet because messenger and messenger marketing is so fresh and new and hot, and I've been doing marketing for almost 20 years in general. Like I'm not new to this business, but yeah, I've been focusing on Amazon Messenger chatbots for a year and a half.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, as we know, it's still on trend and it's a growing area, as we discussed on the previous show. It is an area which is upcoming, and it's time like this is that when you jump on these early platforms before they start to really flourish, because inherently a lot of the platforms will become more and more expensive down the line. You've only got to look at what the cost per clicks were on things like in Google back in the day, and even down to sponsored ads. You can see there's reports on a regular basis of the year-on-year increase in costs in terms of cost per click. I can't remember the exact percentages.
Yeah.
I think they're in double digits up on last year. So
Yeah.
what we're talking about today, we're going to be talking about new product launches. Is that right?
Yeah, so I get asked all the time. I mean, besides reviews and how can I get reviews for from Messenger chatbots? And if you have questions on that, I talked about it in the last one and the do's and don'ts and be careful. But in this one, the next biggest thing that I'm asked about is I have new products. How can I launch them with Messenger to get that momentum, to get my, to get my listings, launched and off onto a good start on Amazon? And so we have a 5-step protocol for new product launches with Messenger that, if people already have a Messenger audience, or even if they're going to build a Messenger audience, that this is something that they can absolutely steal and use, and will get them ranked, could even get them their Amazon Choice badge, and, get going.
Excellent. So let's kick things off. So what's the protocol? Let's start with the setup. How long are you giving away for? What kind of discounts are you doing, etc.?
Right. So our first step is to launch, and this is assuming that you have a Messenger audience already of, at least, let's say like 250 to 500 subscribers. If you have more than that, great, segment your audience and send this to a subset. I like to create a VIP group within your audience that you invite people to and essentially say, hey, you're our love group. We're going to give you deals and offers. And for that, all we ask is that you be super responsive. So you kind of have this sub segment of your group that you've trained to be responsive to you, essentially. So the first step is to launch those deep discounts and those offers to your VIP group first. And we recommend that to go out in a drip sequence over a 7 to 10 day period. And whether you're sending people to a storefront URL or whichever URL is working today, right? You shared in your seller sessions, it's changing. And so that's the beauty of Messenger. We can send people to whatever URL is currently working, right?
Cool. And in terms of discounts, because this is always a big, heavy debate. A lot of people are doing 90% off, especially being on Facebook, or you're using chatbots, but it's, the same protocol. But, what kind of discounts are you looking at in terms of working with the clients that you have?
Right, exactly. So I don't recommend going all the way to 90%. I think that's a little too aggressive. I think if you were running Facebook ads for 90% off, where it's strictly cold traffic, then you're probably going to need that big of a hammer, if you will, to get people to pay attention and take up your offer. But I don't really recommend that for even those types of campaigns, because you're going to attract the wrong kind of people to your list. But if it's your VIP group that you've communicated with and sent deals to before and kind of have nurtured, usually 50% off is good enough. And what I say is make sure your listing isn't like already discounted, that you haven't like lowered your price. And if it's a new product launch, obviously you don't have any kind of sales history or listing history that you're having to work against. So start out at MAP. Start off with your suggested retail price. Don't have a discount and then a 50% off, offer on top of that. So start with a deep discount offer. And typically what we've been doing, and obviously this changes at any time, right? Amazon's always moving the goalposts, but we vacillate essentially between either using an on-listing promotion, so like that clickable coupon or something like that. Because quite frankly, right now we're able to, if people use an on-listing coupon, we're still able to follow up and get a review, as those are considered full price purchases. At time that we're saying this right now, that is working. But if that's not working, or if you don't want an on-listing coupon, then use single-use coupons, obviously, because you don't want a group coupon getting out that, that's like 50% off, for example. Single use is the way to go for, step one. And like I said, you're sending it to a small-ish audience, in subset within your group. And you need to figure out, typically, like when you do your keyword research, you're going to be, looking at, well, how many sales do I need to make per day for how many days to be able to get ranked for my keyword? And the depth of that discount and the length of that campaign is going to vary, obviously, by how competitive your keywords are and how competitive your market space is. If you're in the supplement market, like, good freaking luck. Right? So, but everything else, sorry guys. But the rest, usually a 10-day drip is long enough to get you ranked.
Cool. And what's the next step?
So the next step is, once you've launched, so first step, launch your VIP group. And that's usually like we said, week to 10 days. After that, send out a general offer, so like a group offer, to the rest of your list. So 20 to 30% off to the rest of your messenger audience, and just make it like you would if you were sending out to like your email list. It's a general offer to your list. And that's week 2. The take rate, the click-through rate for step 1 is going to be like massively higher than a 20% offer to your general list. But your general list is where you have probably going to be the bulk of your subscribers. So the rest of like your list is going to get that offer. And like I said, if you have your list price at full MAP, then it's not going to be a huge killer. Plus, you can have review follow-up flows on these as well, because it's a 20 to 30% off group code. You don't need, it's not going to be on listing. It's not going to be single-use coupon code. And that's at this point in time still under Amazon's thresholds for discounts to be able to follow up and get reviews. So this is like 10 days after the first campaign has ended, then you do this. So what we're trying to establish is your initial sales history. And we want essentially when this whole 5-step protocol is over, it's about 5 weeks of traffic that you've been sending. It's not just this one moment in time, right? So then step 3, and this is where I have like all my warning bells and my red flags and all of those things. If step 1 and step 2, where when we do them, we have review flows built into those follow-up sequences. If you still do not have a good fair amount of reviews, then you proceed to step number 3. And quite frankly, if you have enough velocity in step 1 and 2, and you're ranked for your keyword, or you're getting the Amazon Choice Badge, and you have a good number of reviews just coming in organically from those subscribers and the reminders, then you can actually stop here. You don't need to go through all 5 steps. You can just stop here if you're satisfied.
And this is where it's important to have a great product, because a really good product with some velocity behind it, will start to generate, in most cases, positive reviews.
Exactly. And I mean, I can't control your product sales. All I can do is drive traffic to it. But if you have a crappy product, and if you're talking to me, I will tell you if you have a crappy product. But B, that is one of my services.
No nonsense. That's what I like. Yeah, straight.
I'll be honest with you. There's no butt kissing in my agency. But if you've reached that point where you're like, oh, dang it, I need more reviews, then you proceed to step number 3. It's completely against TOS. And if you lead with this step, If you are not disciplined and you lead with this step, you will absolutely generate abnormal review behavior, and you could get your listing shut down even before it has a chance to launch. So do not lead with this. You got to embed it into the rest of the traffic activities so it comes across as natural. So step number 3 is, if you need additional reviews, then you can execute like a rebate offer, or what we call a product tester. Hey, we're launching this new product. We need a few need a few people to test it, and you kind of take them through a series of questions in the flows. That's the beauty of Messenger. Just you can kind of layer it until you finally get to the, okay, if you're willing to leave us a review, then we'll refund you the full amount of the price of the product. And typically, once again, depending on how competitive the landscape is for the keyword that you're going for, you don't need a ton of reviews to get that, to get the ball rolling, like 10 to 15 max. So once again, this is not an offer that you're sending out to your entire list. You're going to do like a subsegment, you're going to send it out to maybe 50 people, not your entire list. You have to be extremely disciplined. And if I catch you doing this and you get yourself blocked, I will be the first one to tell you, I told you so. I warned you. But if you need to, and I understand the instances where you do, then you can, but just be very disciplined and don't rely on just this activity. Embed it in the rest of the activities that you're doing.
Sounds good. And
have I warned them enough, Danny?
I think you have. What's the next step?
All right. So step 4, if you need additional velocity after this point, that's when you go to your organic traffic sources. And what I mean by that is like your previously built out branding activities. So if you have a Facebook page, an Instagram account, an email list, if you have those resources, that's when you promote the offer at that point to the rest of your list and the rest of your audience. Why? Because we lead with Messenger because of the engagement level, the open rates, the click-through rates. Most people are going to react quickly, and you may not even need to get to step number 4. But if you do need that additional velocity, that's when you promote the general offer, so like the 20 to 30% off offer, to the rest of your audience. So doing a post on Instagram, sending out a broadcast to your email list, that kind of a thing.
Sounds good. And anything else you want to add to the end here?
Yeah, so step number 5, if after all of that you need additional velocity, that's when you bring in cold traffic. So that's when you run Facebook ads, typically like a coupon offer directly to your listing via Messenger. Messenger will deliver those coupons for you. Giveaway campaigns, just general buzz. The bonus of doing step number 5 is you get new subscribers, you refresh your Messenger list, and you get traffic to your listing. So, step number 5 is definitely a powerful action. It does cost money, obviously, to do that, and the cost of, in the form of ads costs. But that's essentially like the 5 steps that we follow to get you launched, get you velocity and reviews, hopefully within terms of service, to be able to get your listings launched.
Sounds good. Is there anything else you want to add?
Yeah, so if people have any questions, of course, we're going to have this in the show notes. I will include a template for step number 1 for the deep discount offer to your VIP group. So you can download that and use it immediately.
If people don't read the show notes, like they're on the podcast, etc., what's the best way to reach you in terms of email address, website, so they can ask you direct questions as well?
So you can go to amzmessengerbotclub.com, and that's the best way to learn about both our services and my course, to teach you how to do all of this for yourself, or to get on our waiting list to be to access our agency services.
Right. Thank you for joining us today, guys. Thank you for joining us. If this is your first time, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you again in a few days. Take care.